Good night, everyone. Oh my God, my nose looks so shiny. Shine. Good night, everyone. How you all doing? Yeah, hope you all having a good Sunday evening. Yeah, and I guess some of you retiring to bed now are busy getting your children's uniform ready for tomorrow, doing whatever you need to get ready to go to work tomorrow. But welcome to Karen Vibes. Thank you for allowing me into your space. And thank you for coming into my space. So yeah, it's story time again. Story time again. Hope you all had a good weekend and hope everything is okay. Well, I guess everything can never ever be okay, but we're trying to make the best of everything, or trying, for those of you trying to hang in there. Yeah, so this is a different setting. Just relaxing in the couch. And I said, you know what, I need to log on and get some reading done. So welcome. Please relax and enjoy. If you need to grab something to drink, cool drink or a cup of tea. Yeah, I'm gonna have some tea when I'm finished. Trying to have some of those started having the Herbalife tea boosters, and I also have some teas of my own that I'll be putting out soon. I'll be showcasing those soon. Case spicy teas. So as soon as I'm ready to do so, in a couple weeks time I'll be showcasing them on my live. So I'm having some of my teas as well. Fever grass, pimento, soursop. There's fever grass, pimento, soursop, bay leaf. Yeah. I grew up on those type of teas and they're really nice and they're actually good for your overall health as well. So anyway, enough of that. Story time we say again. Alright, so let's get into it. So we had stopped at, so of course if you've been following me, following my page. Oh, before I do that, I keep forgetting. Last time I forgot as well. I always like to introduce a book every time I come on. So the name of the book that I'm going to continue reading is Come Back, Old Iron Blue by Elkanah Roll. See? And it's narrated by moi, Karen Weir. Alright, so as I was saying before, that if you've been following me, you would have followed where I left off. So we had gotten through to chapter 12. And chapter 12 was, the heading for chapter 12 was A Disgust. So we had started reading chapter 12 and I had stopped at the dog. After, what was it? After, just a minute, guys. So we stopped at where Mas Abagus had stopped at the shop and bought bullion, took a butter pan and made lemonade and what have you. And then the dog, they were saying that he was eating and wasn't giving the dog any and what have you. So we had stopped at, so once you follow my page, you'll see where I had stopped the last time. So we had stopped at, he was careful, so we're talking about Mas Abagus. He was careful not to make a crumb drop to the floor that the dog could get. So we had stopped right there, so we're gonna start back there, alright? He was careful not to make a crumb drop to the floor that the dog could get. When he finished, Bulrush would walk away in disappointment. It was a bright and sunny day. There was Mas Abagus eating as usual, and Bulrush was staring at him. He ate, then called for a loaf of bread. Bulrush, and we know that Bulrush is the dog, right? Bulrush stood at the shop door. As he was served, he paid and walked out with the bread. He used his fingers to hold the bread bag hanging from his side. He glanced at the dog and mumbled, "If you love Bulla, go walk and bite yourself," said Master Abagus, telling the dog named Bulrush, say, if him love Bulla, he must go walk and bite himself. Oh my goodness. The dog got up and quietly ran behind him. Oh my goodness. The dog got up and quietly ran behind him, grabbed the bread between his jaws and shot off like a rocket into the bushes. Mas Abagus stood in amazement as he saw the dog leaping through the grass and bouncing over the low weeds and prickly shrubs. He threw two bad words at the disappearing rascal. He threw two bad words at the disappearing rascal. Long time I don't hear that word. Rascal. "I am going home for my machete," he said, "and I'm going to..." So here we go after the dog grabbed the bread. "I am going home for my machete," he said, "and I am going to lay wait on the road. I'm going to lay wait him on the road and chop him to pieces." Oh my God. He hurried home, got his machete, and waited a little way off from the shop. He was there for 3 or 4 hours, but there was no sign of Bulrush, so he went home. The following morning, he did not have to wait long. There was Bulrush bouncing along, unescorted by his master. My chance to kill the brute now and leave him in the middle of the road. Old Iron Blue will not know who killed him. Grinding his teeth and wrinkling his forehead, Master Abagus was ready for action. As the dog got near, he stood in the middle of the narrow road. The dog, walking towards him, was carefully watching in suspicion. As Bulrush came near enough, he made... Guys, I'm sorry. I have to keep laughing. As Bulrush came near enough, he made one almighty chop at the dog's head. When Bulrush evaded the strike, oh my God, this is so funny. Oh my. When Bulrush evaded the strike, the momentum was so great that the machete slid from his hand and skated on the road surface for a couple yards. Bulrush went and sat by the machete. Every time Mas Abagus tried to retrieve his machete, the dog sprang at him. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. That part is funny. He hoped someone would come and assist him. The only people to come were some school children. They were extremely amused at the antics of the man and the dog and laughed Mas Abagus to scorn. He walked away, leaving his machete, deciding that he would return when the dog was gone. He went home, but his thoughts were centered on the machete. He waited for about 2 hours. When he returned, the dog was gone, and so too was his machete. Could it be that tricky dog picked up my machete? I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. I mean, I need to stop laughing. This part is just so funny. Could it be that the tricky dog picked up my machete and took it to his master's home? One can never be certain what that dog will do. I will have to try and find out because I don't have any money to buy another one. I will hurry to old Iron Blue's home to inquire if his dog took home a machete, agreed Mas Abagus in desperation. He came to old Iron Blue's gate and called, "Old Iron Blue! Old Iron Blue! Iron Blue, oi! Who that calling me?" came a reluctant reply. The voice was dismissive and almost inaudible. "Me, Abagus." Old Iron Blue came walking to the gate in a callous, hesitant manner. What breeze blow you here now, Abagus?" he asked in an unwelcome tone. "I come to find out if your dog took my machete to your home," he asked, looking quite uncertain about the question. "Perhaps I'm not hearing well. Did you ask if my dog took home your machete?" asked Old Iron Blue, trying to control his temper. "Yes," replied Mas Abagus. Did you sell my dog the machete? Did you lend it to him or did he steal it? And did he carry home the machete in his right hand or in his left? And did you give him a file to sharpen the machete after using it? And stop asking me those nonsense, exploded Mas Abagus. "I am here on serious business, not to listen to nonsense. If you think that my dog can carry home machete, I must ask you these questions. You lost your machete and you could think of nowhere else to go but to come here to malign my dog. It seems as if anything bad happens in this district, you all want to blame poor Bulrush. You are a wicked man. If Bulrush were in the yard, I would sick him on you. I don't want to hear another word from you. Please leave my gate, or I may be forced to lend you the broadside of my machete. I am a serious man, and I have difficulty in controlling my temper in the face of such torment." Abagus went away grumbling. One afternoon, a group of boys were happily enjoying a game of cricket on a little strip near the road. The sound of their merry laughter and eager tones brightened the spirit of the community. Cheerfully, they applauded as one player gained an advantage. Every now and again, a passerby stopped to watch the game for a moment and moved on. The robust figure of a man with his dog bouncing behind was seen coming toward that direction. When he was near enough, they saw that it was Old Iron Blue with Bulrush. He paused a while as he watched the game, and so did his dog. The ball rolled from the air into the road. Bulrush grabbed the ball and ran away with it between his jaws. This sent the 10 boys chasing angrily after the dog, but they were no match for the 4-footed creature. When they went to Old Iron Blue's house and saw no sign of the dog, they knew that their game was over for the day, as they had no more balls. They were hurt and angry. They confronted Old Iron Blue. "Either pay us for our ball or find your dog and get it from him," they demanded. "Why don't you go and ask Bulrush for your ball? I did not tell him to take your ball, so don't provoke me," replied an angry Old Iron Blue. Perhaps the dog is just making a little joke with you. Or perhaps he might think you are a bunch of idlers who need to make better use of your time. One thing I know is that he is a very smart dog, much more sensible than any of you. Perhaps Bulrush hates idlers the way I hate them. Oh goodness. The boys decided that anywhere they saw Bulrush, they were going to stone. The boys decided that anywhere they saw Bulrush, they were going to stone him to death. Alright, here I know a story come to bump. The following day, one of the boys saw the dog scampering down the road. He bent to pick up a stone. The dog sprang at him and made a threatening snarl. The boy quickly regained his poise and dashed away. Though he told the other boys of his experience, they too tried but were given similar warnings. Kick, one of the boys, stated that he was not going to be intimidated by any dog. He would stone Bulrush anywhere he was seen without his master. He knew he would not have to wait long, as Bulrush often walked by himself on the road. One day, as he walked on the road, he saw Bulrush bubbling from the opposite direction. He bent to pick up a stone. Bulrush growled his warning. Kick did not heed the warning. Quickly picking up the stone and hurled it at the dog. Bulrush eluded the missile and darted towards him. He turned around to run, but the dog grabbed onto his bottom and gave him a bad bite. Oh my goodness. He had to limp away. From that time, Bulrush was allowed to bounce along unmolested on the road. No one dared to molest him, and most dogs cowered at his appearance. My goodness. Mothball's little dog Frisky rolled over crying in agony each time he saw Bulrush. Bulrush ignored him always, not as much as looking in his direction. Most of the small farmers in Rabbit Wall wore water boots to their fields. Due to their unpleasant smell, these boots had to be left outdoors at night. Of late, everyone was complaining of missing a foot of boot. There was no explanation for this. The people realized that if there were one-footed men living in the community, they would know where to cast their suspicion. But no such person lived in the community. It seemed that the only man who was not complaining was Old Iron Blue. It was brought to the attention of Punk Eye, who preached about it at his meeting. "It is a wicked man in this community," he stated, "who has stolen your water boots. He has gone to use it to work Guzo Anono. I would call the name of this Guzo man, but it will cause confusion. One day, all of you are going to find out who this Guzo man is, and you will be surprised. You all know him very well. I can't say more. But I'm going to warn him to stop his evil ways, because God is watching him and is going to injure him soon. Now all of you who lose water boots are going to end up with 1 foot unless you use stale urine to unless you use stale urine to wash your feet every night. And you know some people are very gullible, especially with certain religions, so they will run go use stale urine to wash their foot. If you don't understand what I mean by saying stale urine, I mean stale pee. Put some urine in a bottle and let it remain for 7 days. Yeah, no. At the end of 7 days, it is ripe for use. Yuck. Pour some in your hand and use it to anoint the foot of which the boot is missing. Ignore my warning and you will end up with 1 foot. The idea was revolting. One man called out, "Can't something else be used?" That is what the Spirit revealed to me. Use something else at your own perils, he warned. If you don't heed my advice, you will soon have a whole district of 1-footed men. 2-footed men from other districts will come and take away your women. Take heed and prepare for the wrath to come. Antala baska sanai, tulala, what tula, bawanta banai. So he's supposed to be speaking in tongues. Said the messenger from on high. Everyone had taken precaution. All the men in the community had lost their water boots, had their evil smelling ointment prepared, and waited for the 7 days to expire. Most of the men began to speak of feeling unusual sensation in their feet. When they saw Papa's son's knee become swollen, real fear gripped the community. 2 days before the urine would be ripe for use, one son was walking home late in the night. The moon was shining and visibility was good. He bent a corner and came face to face with Bulrush. The dog dropped what it was carrying in his mouth and darted off into the bushes. One son bent to examine what the dog had dropped, resembling a boot. It was in fact a water boot. He took up the boot. He took up the boot and started walking home with it. He thought that everyone was asleep. When he came to the shop in the village square, he was surprised to see a group of 5 young men gambling and an old man holding a bottle torch to provide light. Jaggerman was among the group. He came up and stopped with the water boot in his hand. "See, the man here who is stealing the people's water boot," shouted one gambler. One of them jumped up and gave him a vicious punch in the right eye. "Oh no. No, no," he shouted. "Let me explain." Another man drew his machete. "I'm going to chop off one of your blasted foot. Let you see how nice it feels for a man to have 1 foot. Give you the first dose of your own medicine." Another man was about to strike him again when the old man cried out, Wait, let me hear his explanation. We are one district people. Not all the things go the way they seem." He used his right hand to ease the irritation to his eyes as he explained how he came by the boot. "That's a wicked and spiteful dog," said Jaggerman. he will do something like that. I know him well. The spirit of Lucifer lives in that dog. I have an idea, said the old man. While Old and Blue and Bulrush were out in the morning, we could go and search under the floor of his house. Perhaps that's where the dog stores the boots. One son suddenly wailed out, "Look how Joan thumped me in my eye and I don't do him anything. I thought all of you people were my friends, and if Mass Stinking Bug wasn't here tonight, I would meet my death. Look how easy a man can die. So easy." Mass Stinkbug got his name because of his body odor. Wow. And I know when Jamaicans go to give somebody a name, you can't pretend like you don't want it. Right? Because if you refuse it, that's the time they're going to give you that name and call you a certain name. So this man's name is Mass Stinkbug. Excuse me, guys. Mass Stinkbug got his name because of his body odor was like that of some little green bugs with a repellent odor. They tried to console him, but he went away sobbing. The following morning, all of them, including one son, went to Old and Blue's house. One of them peeped under the floor. There lay the water boots in all sizes and makes. Some were covered with dust and some were still shining. By mid-morning, everyone knew where his water boot was. Some men came and collected theirs, while others didn't bother. Seedcap and Miss Dorcas were in the house chatting and laughing merrily. No one interrupted them. Later, while they met Old and Blue and told him what transpired, he claimed that his dog did not do such thing. It is some bad persons who have stolen your water boots and carried them and tossed under my floor to give me and my dog bad name. If it were not so, none of you would know that water boots are under my floor. The same person who put them there led you to where they were. I don't want to hear anything pertaining to this water boot argument. You all want to scandalize me and my dog. An attack on my dog is also an attack on me. Bulrush is the best dog around. If it means that I must fight, I will fight for him. So this is Old and Blue saying everything. Alright, so I will fight for him. This enraged the men. They decided among themselves that there had to be a way to be found to get rid of Bulrush. They walked away, not daring to touch the animal in the presence of Old and Blue. Looking at the animal, "Bulrush," said Old and Blue. Many of the people in this community want to hurt you, but no one dare touch you in my presence and in my absence. I know you can take care of yourself. You are no ordinary dog. In fact, you should not be called a dog at all. Dog is a degrading name to call such a wonderful creature like you. You spring from some great breed. You come from a Doberman Pinscher, or maybe from a greyhound, or perhaps even a bloodhound. You are a great dog. You are a great dog, perhaps the greatest dog to walk on earth. When you bark, thunder quacks, and when you grumble, thunder rumbles. Most of the farmers in that community kept at least one dog. Each morning on working days, a farmer would walk past Old Iron Blue's gate with his dog bouncing along happily behind. Even those farmers who rode their donkeys or mules had their dogs following behind in the company of their masters. These dogs felt confident and secured walking on the road, but Bulrush was determined to put an end to his old tradition. So, yeah, we'll stop there again. So, Bulrush was determined to put an end to this old tradition. Alright, so we are going to pause there. We're going to pause there for tonight. Alright, so we're going to pause there for tonight, and then we will be back another time to pick up from there. And yeah, book is nearly finished. Story coming down to an end. So hip hip hooray! Alright, so we're nearly done with this book. Alright, so we'll stop there for now. Alright folks, so thank you. I hope you had enjoyed that that reading. Alright, thank you for having me in your space. Thank you for coming into my space. Please remember to listen, to like, comment, and share. Okay? Alright, so thank you. You all have a good night. And we will pick up back from where we left off when I come back on again. Alright, so you all have a good night. Have a fabulous week ahead of you all. Alright, keep safe and just be positive at all times. No matter what the challenges around you, what's happening around you, just try to be positive at all times. And you know, before I go, I must mention this. Someone asked me the other day, they were saying that they were watching one of my videos, and it seemed as if my eyes seemed closed, like I was talking, like I was sleeping, but no. I showed them that I think that's about 2 videos that I did, and I know I was very tired and I was sleeping. So I guess every now and then the sleep seemed to have, drawing me in, as they would say. But that's how my eyes are. So my eyes tend to close down a bit, or if I'm reading, I tend to look like my eyes are closed, but they're not closed. Alright, so have a good night and see you guys tomorrow. No, take care now. Take care.